welcome back to the SimZone, ladies and gentlemen. We're here for round 4 of the Next Level Racing GT3 Championship, and we're at Valencia once again. We had Valencia not last week, I believe the week before, for the Friday Track Day Championship, but it's not as sunny as it was. We are into early in the morning at the moment, but before we go any further, I am joined by Cody.
Yes, thanks for having me again. I would like to be on track, of course, because I'm normally participating, but not today. I'll be joining here with you in the commentary box.
Yeah, maybe when you get your rig.
Yep.
Then hopefully this Friday, then you can continue. But
That would be nice.
yeah, hopefully it does arrive. You got your wait, when does your internet come as well?
Next week. So,
so you get your rig.
A little bit of waiting.
Yeah, a bit of
for the internet.
Oh god, that's the problems of moving house. But it is Demori on pole here, provisional pole with a 130.445. Looks like he's going into the pits. Pisano in P2, just a 10th off. These two had quite a battle at Brands Hatch last time. We had tricky conditions at Brands Hatch, of course. Lots of errors made by Pisano, who we're watching at the moment. He had to climb back through the field. But yeah, close between the top two. Thomas in P3 sat in the pits at the moment, 7/10 off. The Ferrari is going to be difficult to catch around here. Likewise as the Porsche. Those two cars have really good BOP around Valencia. Competizione in P4, 9/10 off. Dave in the McLaren, 9/10 off as well in P5. Vining P6. I believe he's just returned the car to the pits. He's sat on track. Oh no. Looks like he's letting someone through. We've got Tobin in P7, Orange in P8. Let's see who's about to improve though. Faulkner down in P9. Faulkner took the win last time out at Brands Hatch, but not looking to be near the pace or near the top 3 so far in this quali session.
Yeah, but still, of course, a lot of laps to go with still 6 minutes to go. He is crossing the finish line any moment.
Yeah,
he moves up to P5.
Yep, so a good improvement there from Faulkner. Still got plenty of time though to be found if he wants to challenge those top 3, at least in this qualifying session. Faulkner really, what I've noticed about him is he doesn't go for outright pace. I mean, obviously he wants to put in the best lap he can. Demori still on pole, but Pisano does improve. But Faulkner usually makes up the most positions in the race. You know, he keeps his nose clean. He's patient and very consistent as well. And he just picks up positions where other drivers make mistakes. That's exactly what happened last time at Brands Hatch. We saw Demori and Pisano come into contact, and then we saw Pisano lose the car a few times as well. And well, Faulkner was just able to keep the car on the track, pointing in the right direction, and well, gain the positions and take the win.
Yeah, I think that some of these drivers will be focusing on their race pace instead of their quali pace, because in the race you will get the points and not for qualifying.
Yeah, definitely.
A little wide. Oh, and he lost the car on the curb.
Yeah, it's a very difficult curb on Valencia. Most of the track, we've got very flat curbs, and that's where you see drivers abusing the track limits a bit due to the flat curbs. But that's pretty much the only bumpy curb we have here at Valencia. Obviously, turn 1 you can run so wide onto the green, and we're going to see Faulkner do that just now. Look how wide you can run. You can run even wider than that, and it'll still be within track limits. This is pretty much a MotoGP track being used for GT racing as well.
It's a really flowing track where you can take a lot of speed into the corners, right? Because you can extend a lot of the track, and you have all the space on the green AstroTurf.
Yeah, even though there's a lot of
wide.
Yeah, even though there is a lot of runoff and Assetto from the exits. It's so difficult to overtake here, just because of the nature of the track. It flows really nicely, but because it flows nicely, it is hard to go for an overtake. Really, turn 2, the heavy braking zone is a good bet. Any heavy braking zone here is a great opportunity for an overtake. Turn 1, not so much. It's a fast left-hander, so quite difficult. But this is the bouncy curve we're talking about. That Foreman just goes over, and it's almost like porpoising going over that curve. That must have hurt his neck a bit.
Yeah, well, we're focusing on Hoorn. Assetto just moved into P3 with almost 6 tenths, and Hoorn moves into P4 with 6.5 tenths of Demori.
Yep, he did improve. We've got a few comments coming in. We've got Steph Jake, Jan, good to see you as well, and Lord Pilth. Steph Jake saying, let's see how many tyres will be murdered during the race. I think a lot. Well, the drivers have to change tyres once, of course, similar to what you guys do on, well, very similar to what you guys do on console. But of course, we're on 1.9 here on PC, and tyre wear is much worse, so you need to manage your tyres much more here in 1.9. And Valencia, a very high tyre deg track, so
yeah, and one of the tracks that's going counterclockwise.
Yeah,
we don't see often.
Yeah, exactly. And Orange made a bit of a mistake in that last sector, but he's still going to improve and jumps up into P7 just by a 10th there of an improvement. He jumps up 3 positions, so very close in this mid-pack in this qualifying session. You can see how wide Orange runs there into turn 1. Thomas 3 tenths up, still got a bit of a lap to go. 4 tenths up now. This is looking like it might be a good lap from Thomas here.
Yeah, but look at the standings at the moment. It's Ferrari 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, I'm not surprised whatsoever by this qualifying session. And Thomas exits the final corner 5 tenths up. This is going to be a great lap here for him, and he crosses line P3 for Thomas.
Yeah, they get it just over 2 tenths, and only 1 lap to go for Thomas. Maybe he can still improve.
Yeah. Just bear with me one moment. But yeah, he probably can improve. Let's just do this again. There we go. Yeah, he probably can improve 2 tenths. I think is definitely possible to find, although the Mercedes is not the quickest car at Valencia. The Ferrari much quicker in terms of BOP. Orange as well, 4 tenths up, puts it up into P4. I think this is going to be his highest qualifying position so far. We've still got a bit of time left to go in this qualifying session though. This will be his last lap to find some more time, although he does have some traffic up in front. That's pitching in the Aston. But let's have a look at the standings coming into this round. It's Michael Thomas leading the championship on 204 points, followed by Pisano in P2. Looks like Orange is just going to pull over there, and oh no, he's continuing. Pisano in P2, Demori in P3, Pitchik in P4, DeMarco in P5, who didn't attend last round and isn't attending this one, so I'm not sure what's happened to him. Vining in P6, I believe he's going to jump up after this round, of course, with DeMarco not being here for another round. Gale in P8, Orange in P9, Pack in P10, Ostrek P11, Tobin in P12, Barth in P13, and Dave in P14.
Yeah, and Thomas didn't improve. He's into the pit, so he might have made a mistake somewhere. But only a couple of drivers that still can improve their lap times.
Yeah.
And really go over the curbs.
Yeah, no one's up on their time though, unfortunately. So that is it for this qualifying session. Demori P1, Pisano P2, and Thomas in P3. We'll be back in just a moment to start this race. Right, welcome back. We are on the formation lap now. Getting ready for the race start. And as we saw, Demori taking pole with just a 10th to Pisano. These two once again close on Brands Hatch. They're going to be close today here at Valencia. Now we will have driver of the day voting once again up later on in the race. Demori, Pisano, Thomas, these three were pretty close in the last race. I believe Thomas wasn't quite able to keep up with the Ferraris at Brands Hatch in the wet, but did pick up a few positions due to mistakes as well. With a Porsche of Orange with a great qualifying session, his best qualifying session yet. We are approaching the final corner now as well. Double file.
Yeah, with all the Ferraris and all these good drivers, it's really sad to see only 2 Porsches at this race, at least.
Yeah, at this race, but we'll be green any second now. We can see the next line. Lights are still red. And we should be going now. There we go. Off to a good start there is Demori on the inside. Turn 1, very, very difficult corner. And oh my god, the Mercedes making a 3 wide. That's not going to be good. Surely someone's going to have to back out. Looks like Demori takes, sticks to P1, and Thomas might even gain P2 here on Pisano. It's a bold move, and he's got P2 there off of Demori. So great start from Thomas. He made that one stick perfectly. And up in position already on the opening lap here. Now Orange having to defend against Comazzetto. Now you notice we do have 2 Comazzettos in this race. We've got Michael Comazzetto and Alex Comazzetto. I don't believe they're related. They might be, but I'm not 100% sure. But Orange fending off the Ferrari of Michael Comazzetto there. Orange keeping up with the top 3 here. Demori has already pulled away ever so slightly there, about half a second to Thomas, but of course Thomas was battling with Pisano. He's got all the time in the world now to close that gap and continue to battle with Demori. But the question is, can he keep up with the pace of that Ferrari ahead, and can he keep Pisano behind?
Yeah, and going to that fast section with the bouncy curve, it looks so sketchy with the cars going over there that I'm always scared to not see anyone spin off there. And let me knock on wood, but it's so scary to see every time.
Yeah, it definitely is. We just see Dave there looking for a move down the inside into turn 1, but oh, I think it's worked. He forced Faulkner into a bit of an error there. Faulkner running definitely very wide out of the exit of turn 1. Dave getting super close on the braking zone. I thought he would have made contact there, but luckily he didn't.
Yeah, and finally dropped some positions. He's now in P9. Not the best start, I believe, for finally.
He started P9, so yeah, he has lost some positions. No damage in the car whatsoever, so that's just a bad start there from Vining this time around. We've got a bit of a train in the background as well. We've got Comazzetto P13, followed by Pitchik. Actually, sorry, not Pitchik, Pryor.
Packham.
Yeah, Pryor and Packham. Pryor, I still believe, on the controller, if I'm not mistaken. And he's doing this well. Actually, we can go on board. We can probably check. Is he on the controller?
Looks like a wheel.
It might be a wheel.
It's so smooth.
Surely he hasn't recovered that quickly. Last week,
broken arm, right?
Yeah, broken collarbone. And look at that mistake from Comazzetto. In fact, they are running the same livery, so I think they might be related. Packham trying to move around the outside into the final corner, and they are side by side here, giving just enough room for each other there. There's absolutely nothing separating them, and Packham on the outside for turn 1. Surely he's going to have to back out of this, although he's got the slipstream from Pryor just up ahead.
Who makes a stick? It's...
Oh, he's wide. He's very wide. Yeah, he's going to have to back. Oh, no!
Rejoin
from Packham. No, that was a really bad rejoin there from Packham, and Comazzetto down into last place, and yep, he has retired the car. And well, I think Pryor, oh, that's not going to be great for him. That might result in a penalty for Pryor, but just rejoined.
For Peckham.
Yeah, sorry, for Peckham. Just rejoined and hit the rear of the Ferrari ahead. Now I reckon that Ferrari could have continued quite easily there. It didn't look like he had too much damage, and McGowan here fending off Peckham down the inside. Are still side by side, these two. Looks like Peckham's going to get the move done. Yes, McGowan has to back out of that, but look who's catching up to these two. It is Elshaug in P16.
Yeah, and Elshaug with a bright colored Ferrari.
Oh no!
Oh, Thomas is off.
What's happened to Thomas? Yeah, he's off. Did he lose the car himself? I don't see any. I don't see. Oh no, I think there was contact. I think there definitely was contact. We've dropped down to P9 now as Thomas. That's not good for him whatsoever. I think Pisano getting a bit too eager. Oh no, I've just seen what's happened. Yeah, Pisano way too eager. Thomas definitely going to send that towards the stewards, no doubt whatsoever.
Yeah, now Thomas have to go all the way back, come all the way back of the field for P9.
Yeah, he does.
So, a lot of work to do.
Yeah, and he's going to be carrying damage after that. He's been brought back towards his teammate now. 3 red cars in a row, Vining, Tobin and Thomas. But Tobin in a bit of a Mercedes RKM sandwich.
Yeah, and Tobin normally running the green, the British Racing green and the yellow from the Aston Martin Racing team.
He's good for
he's running in red.
Yeah, change of heart this time. Maybe red because we're in Spain, Valencia, possibly. I don't know. Maybe just likes the colour red. Pitchik P10. Don't think he's had too much practice for this one. Usually we see Pitchik much further up the field, but at the moment running in P10. Didn't have the best qualifying either. Down in P12 he qualified in.
Yeah, but still 53 minutes to go, so a lot of time for these drivers to make up positions. But Raggy also in P11, and I believe a couple of races ago he was in a higher position.
Yeah, seems to be struggling at this track, this Raggy. Gallet behind him as well in the Porsche. Packham now down to last place. He's lost loads of time here as Packham. Oh, he's picked up heavy damage. Yeah, wow. Where has he got that from? That's some heavy damage.
He spun off on his own.
Yeah, I think he did. I think he definitely spun on his own.
Look at this Comazzetto train over here. With Faulkner behind, but as you said in qualifying, not many places to overtake on this track.
No, but
and
look at
Comazzetto hanging on.
Yeah, look at this train now though. It's Comazzetto, followed by Faulkner, then Dave, then Vining, then Tobin, then Thomas, and in the background as well, Pitchik. Not too close to this train. He's about a second and a half off the back of Thomas. But wow, all these drivers battling for position. It's definitely going to slow them down. We're currently lapping high 131s, low 132s, so it's going to slow them down compared to Pisano in P2. Lapping in the low 131s, and Orange with the fastest lap of the race at 130.9. No, I spoke too soon. It goes to Pisano now, 130.8, and oh no, that is Faulkner really trying for a position there, and I think Comazzetto tried to defend quite hard, squeezing Faulkner to the inside and even onto the grass. A bit cheeky there between the two, but oh, Faulkner late on the brakes there, having to take a different line to avoid the back of the Ferrari. And even Dave almost tagging the back of him. That was a very close one there.
Yeah, but I think that move will go to the stewards with Faulkner being squeezed off track. Not really good to see, but still some tight racing here with Thomas making up a position on Tobin, so both RKM drivers are on P7 and P8 now. looking for a move on Dave, which I know really well in P6.
Yeah, let's see if he can go for this move. I think his teammate, I'm not sure if he'll let him through here. Probably not, although Thomas does have the pace over Vining. Well, Thomas carrying damage now. We'll see if there are any team orders. I highly doubt there. Oh no, there might be here. Thomas down the inside.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, I mean, it's wise from Vining because Thomas is massively out of position actually, and I mean, it makes sense for him to be to let him through, try and maybe follow him through into some overtakes here. And once again, Faulkner and Comzetto chopping and changing places here. Faulkner trying for a bit of a dummy down the inside, and it could work here. Oh, contact between the two, and that's Comzetto, the other Comzetto. Well, they've
in the same corner.
Both, yeah, same corner here. And I think, well, that looked like a bit of a difficult one, and oh, he's spun again here. Struggling to get going once again. It looked like a difficult one. Faulkner was still within track limits there.
And I think Faulkner was ahead.
Yeah, he was. I don't think much room was left between the two of them. But once again, it's probably going to go down towards the stewards, and Thomas now in the back of Dave. Maybe there could be another team order here as well.
Yeah, yeah, there is.
Maybe not.
Dave's leaving the gap.
He's left the gap open, but he was still fighting for that position. But Thomas up another position here, back up into P5 now. And, well, he's not got a huge gap to Faulkner ahead, so it could be P4 for Thomas. Still, though, if he gets past Faulkner, he's got a massive gap to the top three.
Yeah, that's I believe it's almost 9 seconds. He's bouncing up and down between 8 and 9 seconds. So still a lot of time left. And Tobin looking up for a move on Vining. With Vining in the Mercedes, that's really fast still on the straights, I believe.
Yeah.
And of course both have like the slipstream of Dave.
Yeah, they definitely do.
Close enough.
Yeah, Tobin's sticking with them though. He's got some serious pace here at Valencia. He's not lost sight of them for one moment. We're going to get a replay up of what happened to Thomas and why he lost so many positions here. Oops. Ignore that. There we go. We've got the replay on now. But a bit of a mistake there from Vining, but here we go. Pisano following Thomas here onto the brakes, and Pisano just way too late on the brakes there, making contact with Thomas. And continuing on. Surprisingly, it didn't affect Pisano's car much at all. But, yeah, Thomas is not going to be happy with that. It's definitely going to go down towards the stewards, I believe. And
yeah,
Pisano...
Comzetto now in the pits.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. He's going to have some damage after that one. Who knows if he will retire from the race. I think... that was his relative. He was related to the other Comzetto. They had the same livery, and they had the accident in the same place as well. So it's a bit of an interesting one. How they both had accidents in the same corner. But I think the first one it was Packham's fault. The second one, it looked to be a racing incident, yes, and he has retired. So both Comzettos out of the race here.
Yeah, it's really sad to see because they were both in good positions with both a decent pace. But unfortunately, retiring both. And is it Vining looking up for a move on Dave, and Tobin is looking for a move on to Vining, but what a snap of oversteer there on the exit. And Tobin saves it really nice actually.
Yeah, look at a bit late on the brakes there for Tobin. He tried for a bit of a, well, I don't think he meant that, but he made it into a double apex corner. Yeah, Tobin making a few mistakes now, maybe pushing a bit too much to try and keep up with the two ahead. They're going to continue battling. You can see ahead of these two, Thomas is closing the gap to Faulkner. Pisano was closing the gap to Demori as well. The gap came down to about 2 seconds, but Pisano seems to have made a mistake. I mean, the gap came down to about 1 second, but it's now 2 seconds. So I think Pisano, yeah, definitely has made a mistake somewhere. That last lap is 0.8 slower than Demori.
Whoa, that's a lot in this one lap.
Yeah, so similar issue to last round. Pisano struggling for that consistency once again. He's going to have a bit of damage after tagging Thomas. But yeah, consistency for Pisano. I don't think his strong suit. He lost the car a few times at Brands Hatch, although we did have very tricky conditions at Brands Hatch and in the wet. Of course, it wasn't fully wet. I believe it was damp, I think the track was. Some drivers were running on slicks, some were on wet, and it seemed that the slick tyres at the end were the way to go.
And I'm having a quick look at our comments at the moment, and Jan is definitely rooting for Nino here. It's saying Nino. And Lord Per saying shame they retired, as they could have picked up some healthy points. And he's talking about Comazetto.
Yeah, both of them. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but that's their loss. And I'm not sure if they'll be looking at the stewards. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Or the stewards will have to wait and see. Thomas has closed that gap to Faulkner now within a second, and looking like Dave. Why is that showing that Dave's still ahead of Vining here? No position changes for either of these two. Interesting in turn one. It seems like Dave and Vining taking different lines here. Much later apex for the two of them, and Vining down the inside into turn two there.
Did Dave leave a bit of a gap there, because he didn't try to close the door there.
He's going to have to go defensive now, because Tobin's looking for a move around the outside, and Tobin with a bit of oversteer on the exit once again, and looking for a move down the inside. So late on the brakes there. Look at how close these two are. Absolutely nothing between the two. Tobin seems to be struggling though on the exits, especially on the exit curbs. Once he gets onto them,
Thomas is, I think, past Faulkner.
Yes, he has passed. He definitely has passed Faulkner. Faulkner not much he could do there. And for Thomas, he's got an 8-second gap now to Orange.
Yeah, but still 3 minutes to the pit window, so maybe you can do some magic on the pit. So look at the bouncing on Thomas' Aston Martin there. They're on the curbs. That he didn't lose it there. It's just a surprise how they do it.
Yeah, I think
I will lose it every time there.
I think if it was 1.8, everyone would be losing it there, but luckily the majority of curbs, I mean the physics have been sorted out. I think there's still a lot of tweaking to do though for Kudos. It's not 100% there in my opinion. There's still a lot to be, a lot of minor updates I think to be done, but that's nothing to do with us really.
Luckily it's on their end.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I can't imagine how difficult it must be to sort out all the physics and parameters and God knows what else. They do a brilliant job.
Massive step. I made a massive step forward with 1.9 against 1.8.
Yeah, 100%. Cars on the curbs would, yeah, they wouldn't even drive over them half the time. You'd be flying in the air if you were hitting half of the curves, especially at Zolder. You can still get in some serious air there, but that's normal.
Yeah, and at least they fixed how the tires work, and no more meta like we still see on the console versions.
Oh, the negative toe, yeah. I mean, you can still run. I mean, it's normal to run zero toe as well. It's pretty much what a lot of drivers have been doing. That gives you quite a balanced setup. Obviously, if you're running a race setup, you hire the toes slightly on the rear and whatnot. But back to the racing, different lines for the three of these drivers. Varney and Dave, like I said earlier, they're going for a much later apex, so they don't take the green on entry on the apex of the corner. They sort of avoid that, whereas Tobin really takes that inside curb. And I think he probably maximises his exit speed by doing so. He's caught up in Sector 1. Sector 1 seems to be Tobin's strong suit here. And looking for a move once again. This is where they were really close last time as well.
I think this is a spot where Tobin loses a lot of time to Dave, because he's braking so late there that he's almost standing still. Yeah. Otherwise he would have made the corner.
I think he needs to focus on his exit speed here, does Tobin. He's focusing more on the entry. When, as we saw, he got close on the entry and then pretty much lost it again on the exit because of Dave and the McLaren ahead. So Tobin needs to start thinking about his exit here. Maybe he's waiting for the pit window to open so he can get out of the traffic and continue to put in the laps. It looks like Dave opening up this left-hander a bit more than Tobin here as they go through the final corner. Faulkner with an early pit stop, so he's now chosen to pit quite early, actually, surprisingly early.
Yeah, and the pit window only open for 10 seconds. So,
I know why. He's got a drive-through penalty for track limits.
That will drop him right back to the back of the field.
Yeah.
So unfortunate for Faulkner.
Oh, what a shame for Faulkner. That's a big shame for Faulkner. He's dropped down. P11 now is out. P12, even Pryor has got past him too, but these three still battling for position. And Demori and Pisano still separated by 2 seconds. Demori lapping in the 131.4s, Pisano in the 131.3s. Pisano not really closing in to Demori.
Yeah, but it's still good to see that these three drivers, after 20 minutes of hard racing, are still so close together. With not a lot of mistakes and not a lot of incidents between these three.
Yeah, it's just a shame that the Comisetto's retired, because they could have been involved in this battle a bit more, I think.
Yeah, Thomas is reeling in orange by a small margin every time. The gap is nice. I believe it's 6.1 seconds so far. Yeah, somewhere around 6 seconds.
Yeah, he's gained 2 seconds on orange already, and Dave hitting there. I think it was a last-minute decision to do so, although he did definitely follow the pit entry, but a very last-minute decision to do so. Tobin got a great run out of the final corner on Dave, and I think he just did that to cover himself off. He doesn't want to start battling with Tobin, because they're going to lose time to Vining in the Mercedes to stop ahead. So I think it was a good call from Dave actually to pit. Very last-minute decision. Let's hope he hasn't sped into the pits. One of the, well, actually the first one to pit, because Faulkner had a drive-through penalty.
Yeah, so that means Faulkner still needs to go back into the pits, and he will lose another time to the rest of the field.
Yeah, he's sitting in P11 at the moment. It's Faulkner. Would be P12 because Dave has now entered the pits. But Faulkner, I mean, that drive-through penalty, where was he sitting? He was sitting P4 or P5. And
he was just behind Thomas.
Yeah, after Thomas got the overtake done. That's so much time lost for Faulkner. Just as we were talking about how consistent he was, he goes and gets a drive through this race, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, but it shows how easy it is to do. At least you can get a penalty here, even though you can extend a lot of the track. It's still really easy to make a mistake.
That's what I was mentioning earlier as well. The flat curves at Valencia just allow you to push the limits, similar to Misano. You pretty much have a lot of flat curbs. Yeah, you have some sleeping policemen of the yellow and black curbs. on some of the corners, but you can still, for the majority, use a lot of the track on exit, and I think that just invites the drivers to pick up a track limit warning, and then eventually pick up a drive-through penalty. Wrench now into the pits for his mandatory stop.
Yeah, so that will drop him, of course, back to the field and promotes Thomas in provisional P3. But of course, still these drivers all need to make their pit stops. Yeah, Wrench is coming out at P14, I believe.
Yeah, it looks like Faulkner's got past Pryor up into P9. He goes. Steph Jake saying such a shame for Faulkner. Yeah, it was, but I'm sure he's not going to be thinking about that at this moment in time. They're trying to gain as much time back. It's going to be damage limitation for Faulkner actually. And here we go. That's Tobin into the pits now. Here we go.
And I like this livery of him.
Let's have a look at it again, actually. We can do this. Yeah, it suits him.
Yeah, but with the yellow line on the window, it does remind me a lot of art.
Yeah, I think that's his auxiliary lights, his aux lights. But Robin stopping in the pits there. Looks like it was a good stop, maybe. There's no way for us to tell, unfortunately. Demori and Pisano, these two closing in on each other now. Pisano's pretty much only been lapping a 10th quicker lap after lap than Demori, but it all adds up, and he is closing in the gap. So we saw earlier was 5/10, and Demori with a huge mistake there. I think he locked the rear slightly and had to correct by just going straight on, and Pisano's now on the back of him here. We've also got Elshaug. Looks like Orange has come out ahead of Elshaug, and Orange behind Packham as well. Packham's probably going to have to let him through. There we go. Orange gets ahead of Packham now, and Demori into the pits now. As a result, we know the tyre wear is absolutely horrible here for the Ferraris, for most cars at Valencia. So Pisano pitting, Demori pitting it around the halfway mark. Pisano going for a longer first stint.
And I wonder how who pitted as first. I believe it was Dave pitted as first. I wonder how his tires will be at the end.
Yeah, but
he's still fighting with Tobin.
Yeah, speaking of these two, Tobin has got the position off of Dave in the pit stop. So that early pit stop for Dave didn't work out well for him because Tobin's now ahead.
Yeah, it shows how powerful the overcut is. With Demori now in the pits, Gala in the pits, and also Giuseppe in the pits.
How you say it, Giuseppe?
I think so. I think he's Italian, right?
Yeah. I've definitely been saying it wrong. I've definitely been saying it wrong then. Giuseppe is probably... It sounds better as well. A bit of a poor exit out the final corner here from Tobin. He's probably going to have to go defensive coming up towards turn 1. That McLaren's got a good run on the Aston Martin here, although the McLaren not the quickest on the straights. He's going to pull towards the inside here. Tobin should have defended that. Surely he's not going to hold it around the outside. He's going to run wide here on the exit. Yeah, he does run slightly wide, and Dave now down the inside, although Tobin was still within track limits. It's not the line he wants to be taking when he's side by side with someone. And there we go, Dave back up ahead of Tobin.
Yeah, what a move.
Tobin once again, it's not gonna look at that overstay he's getting on the exit. It's really slowing him down. But yeah, he's not going to let Dave out of his sights whatsoever. We had Vining, who was in this battle as well. He's in quite a bit of clean air, I think, is Vining. Yeah, got nothing to worry about. So he's going to be putting in the laps now. And I think he might still be able to come out ahead of these two. They are battling now as well.
And Thomas and Pitchik are now into the pits, same as McGowan. But I think Vining will try and put kind of quali laps in now, just to come out in front of these two.
Yeah, I mean, surely those tyres though aren't going to be in his favour. He's going to be losing a bit of time, I think, if he doesn't pit towards the halfway mark. But who knows? Actually, we do know. We can check his lap times. I've completely forgot. Yeah, 1:32s that last time for Vining. So not exactly on the pace, although Dave and Tobin lapping at 1:32s as well. Our leaders, Pisano, currently lapping at 1:31.6s.
Yeah, so there's a lot of difference there, but still good to see that we have different strategies, and Tobin's still on the back of David here in the McLaren. The gap is almost a second now. So again, Dave, hold on. He got a better exit out of this corner. The gap extending a little bit. But we got some more drivers in the pits. It's Raggy, Volker, and Pryor now. So they will drop down the field again.
Yeah, they're all in the pits. We're going to bring up the driver of the day voting as well. There we go, we've got the link in the comments now. Be sure to vote for your driver of the day before the race ends. Yeah, quite a few drivers into the pits. What else have we got going on at the moment? Dave is pulling away from Tobin now after he got that overtake down. Look how many cars are in the pit lane at the moment. That's Packham. He's going to be dropping down the order once again. Elshaug into the pits just behind him, so I think they're possibly close on track together once they exit. Raggy out of the pits now. Where is he in comparison? Raggy coming out of the pits pretty much, not really, yeah, he's not really close to Pitchick 5 seconds up ahead. He's had not the most eventful race. He has been behind this pack ahead between Dave and Tobin, but he just hasn't had the pace to close the gap. We've got Vining and Pisano now into the pits, so everyone pretty much serving their mandatory pit stops now.
Yeah, and Thomas, I think he repaired his damage with the gap being 10.6 seconds now to Orange. Before the pit stop ad was 5.9, I believe. So a lot of repairs for Thomas in the pits.
Yeah, either that or, I mean, if Orange hasn't changed his tyres, it's going to be a very bold move. Pisano coming out on the track here. Where is Demori? Demori stays ahead. Yep. Stays. Oh, well, no, not stays ahead because Pisano got the move done, didn't he? With Demori's mistake. Or did he?
I think Demori was already in front.
Already in front. Yeah, Demori decided to pit after that mistake he made. Yeah, so Demori now back ahead with a much bigger margin than he had before he pitted. So 2.5 seconds. It was less than a second before our pit stops here. And looking like Dave and Tobin still battling for position. Thomas, like you said, quite far back. Let's check the pit stop times just so we can see what has happened to Thomas in the pits. 64 seconds in the pits. That's not too slow.
No, so there's no. I think he, looking at the other pit stop times, I think he only had like 3 or 4 seconds of damage which he repaired. Yeah,
but comparing it to Orange, it's only what's that, 5 tenths difference in the pits between the two. So Thomas has lost a lot of time, either on his either by staying out on track for long, or his outlap wasn't as good.
Yeah, and Vining still in front of Dave and Tobin is really in Dave again, with the gap being 4 tenths at the moment.
Yeah, it's extremely close once again between these two. Vining as well. This 3-car battle continues in pretty much in the same order we saw before. And Tobin once again on those exit curbs, really struggling with the rear of the car. I think if he had that sorted out within the setup of his car, maybe it's the setup, maybe it's not, maybe it's just his driving, where he's putting the power down a bit too much, or maybe overcorrecting on the curbs as well. I think he could definitely get past both these two.
Yeah, he seems like he has the pace, but still making small little mistakes in some corners, which made him lose a lot of time. Looking at him from the back here of Vining's car, you can see the McLaren and the Aston Martin taking different lines here. Both running wide on the as you should in this front, but he's trying to pull away, but still Dave and Tobin are in his slipstream, so it's not going to be easy for him.
Yeah, it's always on the exits though. Tobin gets the rear out, so there's definitely something wrong with that car at the moment. There's nothing he can do in the race to change it. He has to try and adapt and drive through, or drive with what he has. Because like I said, there's nothing you can do out on track once the setup has been confirmed by the mechanics. That's pretty much it, what you're stuck with in the race. And Tom's just gonna have to adapt to it, try and drive, change his driving style maybe slightly in the race, maybe be a bit easier with that right foot on the exits. It looks like they're catching up to some traffic now. Is that Elshaug in P15 ahead of them? No, it's not. It's
yeah, it is Elshaug. Or is it Giuseppe?
I think it's Giuseppe, yeah, because I think Elshaug's in the Ferrari 296, and I believe Giuseppe's in the 488, which is an interesting choice. Although the yeah, you don't see anyone in the 488 anymore. Prior into the pits now. Oh, has he got a drive-through penalty?
I think so, because he already pitted.
Yeah, that's a shame. Valencia is a bit difficult with track limits, as we've already seen. We've seen it in the last race as well, the Track Day Championship. A few drivers picking up drive-through penalties for track limits there also.
Yeah, even though you can extend a lot of the track, it's still a bit sketchy where you can do it. And one tire off the AstroTurf, and I think that will give you a warning. But look how Vining has pulled away from Dave and Tobin. Dave is mostly looking at his rearview mirror, I think.
Yeah, I don't think Dave's worrying about anyone else apart from Tobin at the moment. Thomas though, not really catching up to Orange. The gap's still at 11 seconds between those two.
And I think that Thomas is just wanted to not make any mistakes and yeah, do as much damage limitation as you can do. Luckily for him, it's Vining behind him, of course his teammate, but there's quite a marginal gap there for Thomas, and Thomas being a really quick driver here. So I think it won't be an issue for him. That's not on wood. But I don't want to make any assumptions just yet, because we still have 22 minutes to go.
Yeah, exactly. And the gap between Pisano and Demori still fairly the same. Pisano's still the fastest up the race, but we saw Demori crack under the pressure and make a mistake before the second stint. And that can easily happen again. It can happen to anyone on track as well, even the top drivers, as we saw. But yeah, this battle spacing out ever slightly now. Tobin losing a bit of time to Dave. But no one else yet to serve their pit stops. Look how far Vining is. 2 seconds ahead now of these two. And let's confirm it definitely was a drive-through penalty for Stuart Pryor in P13. Now, Cody, I think we need to start a karaoke again in the live chat.
Oh well, yeah, that was a good one last race, but I don't see any bouncing or any bump and grinding. But
Everyone was getting involved with the with the karaoke then. That was good fun.
yeah, there was something else in the comments this time.
Oh, Steph Jake says someone says karaoke. There we go. We've got it going on. Jan goes smooth operator.
Yeah, it's really good to see that that we still have some karaoke going on here. And Tobin again comes with a little mistake, and Pisano is
Reeling him in.
close. Yeah, he's reeling Demori in.
I've also
He
seen.
has the fastest lap.
Yep, still got the fastest lap. I'm also seeing Faulkner, right in the back of Gallet now. Where are these two? Here we go. And they are side by side, coming up towards this right-hander. Faulkner very late on the brakes there. And has he compromised the exit? No, he hasn't. Faulkner with the move down the inside. Simple as. And there we go. Not much else to that move from Faulkner. Going to try and put away now from Gallet or Ench though. On for a solid podium this race. Still 10 seconds to Thomas. Well, this is probably going to be his best finish yet. I believe his best finish was a P5 from Orange. I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to double check the standings after to confirm that. But Orange doing amazingly well with the Porsche here at Valencia. We know it's probably one of the quickest cars here, along with the Ferrari. Got good BOP around this circuit. Steph Jake saying these curves be moving up and down side to side like a roller coaster. And Cody, of course. Some karaoke from you as well. Brilliant. And I thought that was a mistake from one of the leading drivers, but it's Giuseppe just moving out the way there. Interesting place to move out the way, but doesn't cause any issues. Now looking at the top two, they're even closer now. There's some pressure on here for Demori, who's lost so much time in this sector. This is where we saw him lose it. Well, the corner before, I believe, is where we saw him lose it or go late on the brakes last time. Demori's under a lot of pressure now. It's Ferrari versus Ferrari, as we know. When you're when you're battling with a car in the same manufacturer as you, you're going to be quicker and slower in the same places. So it's much more difficult to overtake, which is exactly what we saw in the Track Day Championship as well. We had a few Ferraris towards the front. We had Fischer as well in the BMW, however, who was battling with Foch as well. Foch, for you, I'm sure most of you know him. He's a driver for Yassi as well. Veloce, same thing pretty much now. It's just different rebranding. Why did I time you out? Well, that wasn't gonna happen.
Did you?
Yeah, accidentally. Whoops. Just had my phone in my hand there, but these whoops. Oh well. Guess you're timed out then. But looks like a late move there. No. Pisano trying a move down the inside, but Demori fending him off early there, making sure that Pisano has nowhere to go. But it's trouble here for Pisano.
And I think these two drivers came to contact one of the races before, or it was in one of a different championship.
It was last round. They came into contact. Yamori had a bit of oversteer on the exit out of turn 1. Pisano with nowhere to go, clipped the rear, and well, that caused Demori to lose a lot of time, a lot of positions as well. Let's hope.
Yeah, and I have a little check about the Orange highest finishing position, and it was P5 in the last race.
It was P5 in the last race. Oh, yeah, so he did well there as well.
Yeah, so it's still, the podium is still on, so he can better his Yeah, his finishing position, but look how close Pisano is to the Mori at the moment. Only 3 tenths behind between these drivers.
Yeah, it's not going to be enough to go for a move down the inside into turn 1. But he is definitely very close here. We've also got another battle heating up. Pitchik and Raggy battling for position. That's the Aston and Ferrari. Raggy in the silver or the grey livery we saw earlier. We're going to bring this battle up now. Keep an eye on that battle too as the top two battle for the race lead here. But where is Demori in the standings? I believe he's second or third in the standings, I think, is Demori. So he really needs this win to close in on Thomas. Thomas is leading the championship at the moment.
Demori is third with only 11 points behind Thomas.
Oh, is that all? And who's P2 in the championship again?
Pisano with only 3 points behind, 3 points in front of Demori.
Oh, wow, that's
really
very
close at the top.
Between the top three, yeah, and Pisano there almost gave me a heart attack. I thought he was going to make contact with Demori as he tried to move down the inside, but it didn't pay off. Demori held it round the outside as we just saw. Pisano's dangerously close here for Demori. Demori can't open up the door like that again for Pisano. Pisano's going to take any opportunity he can, especially with knowing how difficult it is to overtake at Valencia.
And both drivers run quite similar lines into turn 1. Both of you making the most of the AstroTurf on the outside. Also for the next section coming up, driving in a little train with each other.
Yeah, I wonder what makes the difference in lap time and how Pisano is catching up. Is it tyre wear? I'm not sure. They've been on these tyres for probably say 15 minutes or so. Both of these drivers would be, but like you said, they're taking different lines, so I think it's just a matter of inputs, pedal and throttle and brake, or it's just down to the setup and tyres as well.
Yeah, maybe.
And moved there down the inside from Pisano. I think he kept the inside.
There was some contact.
Yeah, there was a bit of door rubbing between the two, but I think no fault there from Pisano. He had the inside line, and wow, he got that one done. And all over the exit curb there was Demori. Luckily, he just saved that. That could have been him into the barriers or facing the wrong way. But yeah, I think that was a perfectly fine move there from Pisano. And all that's Comizetto.
Yeah.
Sorry, not Comizetto. That is
Raggy.
Raggy facing the wrong way on the circuit.
But I don't think there was any contact between the two. Maybe Raggy lost it on his own.
Yeah, he did lose it on his own. There wasn't any contact between the two.
And Pisano pulling away slightly. Getting almost 7 tenths according to the timing board.
Yeah, it's about a second between the two now. So yeah, Pisano really pulling away after he got that overtake done. Into clean air now, so he shouldn't really have many troubles pulling away, although we have seen Pisano struggle for consistency, but this race, Demori also struggling for a bit of consistency. It's quite unusual because we usually see him pretty much faultless throughout the races, but you can see they're very wide through that left-hander as well. Pisano is definitely struggling with something out on track.
Yeah, and I think Demori used the best of his tires because it looks like he was really struggling for grip there.
Yeah, he's all flying over the curb and on the exit as well. That was interesting line there from Demori. He's taking quite a big risk here in the final 11 minutes of this race. We've got a back marker now. This is McGowan. This could prove interesting. McGowan not moving over just yet. I reckon he should have moved out the way there. But is he going to do it shortly? Surely he's going to have to do it now. There we go. Moves out the way now. But is he going to hold up Demori slightly here? No, he's not.
I think good job from Ago in there. Moving as close, moving as fast out of the way as he could. But Demori, the gap was already almost 2 seconds there. So Pisano having the pace over him at this moment.
Yeah, that last lap, Demori was a second slow, over at 1.1 seconds slow actually, than Pisano. So Demori's, like I said, struggling with something. That last lap was a 1:32, which is quite off of his pace. I have a feeling it is something to do with his tyres. There's no way Demori would be lapping this sort of time at this stage in the race, where fuel load's going to be less. He would have pitted for tyres. Maybe he hasn't, but he should have pitted for tyres. And I mean, there'd only be about 20 minutes used for about 20 minutes. So I'm really surprised that Demori's losing a lot of pace here. That last lap was quicker though, but still 3/10 slower than Pisano. 1:31s for the both of them now.
Yeah, and looking a bit back, Thomas is catching orange now. It's the gap is still a lot of course, with 6.5 seconds.
Oh yeah,
but the gap was somewhere around 11.
Yeah,
so Thomas picking up the pace.
Yeah, that last lap, Thomas was 6/10 quicker, so he's definitely closing in. But 9 minutes left of the race to go. Is it possible to catch Orange and then get past him within that time frame? It's not going to be easy for Thomas. Well, I don't want to be negative here, but I think I think it's going to be very difficult for Thomas to overtake Orange here, or get back onto a podium. Because Thomas, where did he start? He started P3, didn't he? So
yeah, and he had a great start going up into P2, and of course had that unfortunate contact with, I believe it was Pisano, who sent it on the inside, causing him to spin.
It was, and Demori, his hopes for the race win now are going to be, well, not on track, the stewards, but he's going to want to stick with Pisano, I think at least 5 or 10 seconds, which shouldn't really be a problem for Demori. But Pisano is going to try and pull away now. Yeah, I think Demori, like you said, his only chance now is going to be the stewards.
Yeah, not a lot of drivers now getting close for a battle. Only the closest driver to the car in front now is Demori and Pisano. The gap is only 1.5 seconds. The rest is way more spaced out at this time. But normally, on the end of the race, everyone is battling.
Yeah, it's usually the case.
It's different now.
Wait till the last few minutes. I mean, we've got 7 minutes left. Wait till like 3 or 4 minutes, and we'll see like 4 battles or 3 battles start again. It's always the case. Packer and Pryor aren't far from each other. Either P13 and P14 Pryor. You can see, there's some traffic in between these two as well. And I think, is that Packham still carrying his damage on his car? Let's have a look. Yeah, he is. Oh, he's got some more damage, I think. Oh no, it looks to be the same.
Yeah, so we didn't fix it at the pit stops. So
maybe want to save some time in the pits. He's got the leaders though coming through, so he's going to have to move out the way shortly.
Who is it? Is it Pryor or is it Thomas or is it Vining?
Yeah, that's another issue. They're running the same car, same livery, so who is it? No, it's not Thomas, it is Vining.
I think we need to ask them if they can change to something on their cars, because we couldn't see who's who.
Well, we know Vining's the 524 Mercedes, so if you can see the big 524 on the side, which we can't from the front, but if we see it from the side, then we know it's Vining. There we go, we should be able to see it now. There we go. That's fighting. Thomas is in the number 28 here. We can barely see the numbers at the moment. Let's see if we can get... There we go, now we can see it. Is there a closer angle? There we go. Number 28. And it was the same for the Comazettos as well. They're running the same car, same livery. And they've got the same name. So,
I think one of the drivers needs to run with pink mirrors instead of yellow.
Pink?
Yeah, why not?
What, you think pink would stand out?
Yeah, it's different to the other car. It would be better if it was orange with tulips on there, but...
I don't think it would suit their livery though. Maybe if they went for a different sort of yellow, who knows? But I don't think they're going to bother with that. Our life, they make our life difficult. It's similar to Pryor P13, Matt Pryor as well. Is not actually in this championship. He's racing in others. But when these two are together in the same championship, towards the end of last season, they tried to be funny, and they ran the same livery. Yeah, to confuse me even more, and it worked. But it's pretty much the same thing with them. Both names Pryor, or both surnames are Pryor, and they seem to be on track together at the same time as well. So every time one of them made an overtake, which Pryor is it? We'll always have to try and find out. But it looks like late on the brakes there from Pryor, Stuart Pryor. And the gap between the top two, still 1.8 seconds, hasn't really opened up much. Demori now lapping the same times as Pisano, 131.67 for the both of them actually. It's just 7 thousandths of a difference that last lap from Pisano and Demori. Faulkner in P9, lapping half a second quicker than Pitchick. 4 minutes left to go, 2.8 seconds. He can see Pitchick in front of him. Now the question is, can he catch up in 4 minutes?
I think it will be a hard task for him to catch up, but yeah, we never know. It's I'm mistaken. We have an orange in the pits.
Oh, no.
I think he has.
No, it's not a drive-through. It's not a drive-through.
It's fuel.
No damage. I think it's fuel. It has to be fuel. He's not got any penalties.
Oh, so unfortunate.
No damage on his car. Oh no. He's running so well, but that's going to give Thomas the podium then.
Podium? Yeah, and finding P4 and Werewolf Orange come out. It's even getting worse now. It's P7 now, and he's still standing still in the pits.
Yeah, he's in his box, so obviously something's happened, or he is just refueling, and he has miscalculated massively here.
I think it will be only 3 laps that he miscalculated, but he's still dropping down.
Yep, he's off the tracks now. He's exited the pits, and Giuseppe with a drive-through penalty in the last few minutes. He's picked up a drive-through penalty here for track limits. I don't think it'll matter too much though. He is P16, 2 laps down, but there we go. He's going to serve it. Is Giuseppe?
Yeah, he's still finishing. He's still finishing, so it will be points. So no worries for him there, but Orange dropping down to P11. Thomas in P3 now, with the gap in front 22 seconds and the gap behind him with 10.5. And looking at the drivers in front, Demori is still within 2 seconds of Pisano here.
Yeah, he's
running a bit wide in the corner.
Seems to be closing that gap slightly this lap, but not going to be enough, I don't think, for Demori. But if you can put that pressure onto Pisano, make him
work for it.
Yeah, make him work for it, and maybe force him into an error. It could allow Demori to get the win, but I don't think Demori needs to push. He probably doesn't know what happened with Thomas and Pisano, so he'll be thinking he does need to push, and that's Elshaug facing the wrong way. I think he just lost the car on his own there. Yeah, his team's not here. Demori's team that we don't know. There's no race engineers here for this championship, so it's every driver for themselves. Demori, he's got no information that Pisano and Thomas made contact earlier in the race, so Demori's going to be pushing for a win here. But final lap now.
Yeah, but final lap indeed, but the gap's still 1.8 till 2 seconds. But a bit wide there from Pisano. But no harmful foul there. I don't think there will be a penalty.
No, it's still within track limits actually. So Demori was the one who invalidated his lap. Pisano still on a valid lap here.
And I see on our little screen at the right bottom, Galle and Orange is wearing the same livery. So they will. Yeah. I think they're teammates.
Yep, they are. They're both from PRB, Project Reborn, and Faulkner has actually closed that gap to Pitchick. That's the question we were asking beforehand. On the last lap now, they're battling for position. What's going to happen here? Faulkner, is he going to get desperate? Try and get past Pitchick. We will see. We're actually going to swap these battles around. If we can find them out on track, that would be nice. Here we go. So we're going to go to the race leader now. Pisano. Who's, I believe, is the final corner he's rounding now? Yes, it is. There we go. Pisano rounds the final corner now. And he's going to take the race win on track. But obviously steward decisions will come out later. Demori's going to cross the line, P2. Michael Thomas still, it's 23 seconds back, like you said, coming through the final corner now.
Yeah, but he will be happy with his P3, and I think Vining in P4 will also be very happy. It's a good finish for the Kings Motorsport drivers.
Definitely, Vining gaining 3 positions off the start. And it'll be a P4 for him. Thomas P3, Vining sent across the line in P4. Dave as well, a good race for him too. He's going to cross the line in P5. So Vining, Dave, and Tobin all gaining 3 positions this race.
Nice, great racing from and Tobin really happy serving.
Yeah, he's happy with that
serving on the straight.
Yeah, and it was a drag race towards the finish between Pitchick and Faulkner. Look at that. Look at the gap as they cross the line. 0.0. It must have been a few hundredths or a few thousandths as they crossed the line. That was very close for the both of them. But there we have it. Pisano P1, Demori P2, and Thomas P3. We will be back for some interviews as well. Make sure to stay tuned. So we will bring up the driver of the day results now as well. Here we go. Let's just refresh this. Here we go. Weren't many votes today, but Tobin takes driver of the day with 3 votes and Thomas with 2. So let's see if we can get some interviews from the drivers as well. Let's have a look who we've got. Yeah, we do have some interviews. Let's bring in Demori first. Thomas, maybe we won't. Let's bring in Demori. So here we go. We have got Simon Demori in, and what could have been a win for you. We saw you lock up in the first stint, I think it was, and you made a mistake there before you pitted. But then got overtaken in the second stint by Pisano as well. I mean, you were losing a bit of time at the start, but then you were able to lap the same times as him. What was that? Was it the tires, or was it something else?
Yeah, I think as you said, the lockup just pushed me in a bit of premature pit stop, and in the end, the tires of him were just fresher, and yeah, he could overtake me. But really great race by him. I think he did a perfect race, and yeah, if it wasn't for that mistake, maybe I could have gotten the win.
I think it might go down to stewards though, because Pisano and Thomas did make some contact. I think Pisano broke a bit too late and tagged the back of Thomas, so you could still be in the chance of a race win.
Yeah, I saw it a bit in the rear view mirror, and I thought maybe something happened there, but yeah.
Yes, you still could get the win here, but I mean, it's down to the stewards. But on track, obviously, you finished P2. Now looking to next, you're sitting P3 in the championship, so good points for you, good result. Looking at the next round, we're over halfway into the season now, going into the next round. Donington Park, did you race there in another championship, in all championships already? Not sure.
Yes, I've raced there already.
Yeah. I believe it was wet, I think. I remember.
I'm just trying to remember as well, yeah. Donington. Yeah. Yes, I've raced in a few other leagues there, I think.
Other leagues, yeah. Right, but the weather, looking, oh no, it's not going to be wet, is it? I mean, we'll have to see. The weather here has been...
In Britain?
Yeah, warm, cold, sunny, rain. It's been changing every day. But what would you hope for it to be? Wet or dry? Would you not mind?
In the dry I'm a bit more consistent, but last time in Brands Hatch I was pretty fast in the wet as well, so I'll just let it surprise me.
Let the weather gods decide, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, congrats on the result. We will see you for the next race.
Cheers.
Right, that was Demori. Let's bring in Pisano next. Someone's been waiting there for a while. Let's bring in Pisano. Here we go. We've got Pisano P1 in this race. You got the overtake done on Demori in the second stint. Great racing from you as well. We did see some contact you had with Thomas as well earlier in the race, but I don't know if that's going to go around to stewards. Let's see if he reports it, but nevertheless, a win is a win on track. How are you feeling?
Yes, about the contact, I have already spoken with Thomas, so I don't know why my car touched the car, because I'm totally inside and see the replay. When my car is totally inside, there are contacts, so I don't know why. Maybe a lag, but I'm disappointed for him because I destroyed its race. So sorry for that. But about my race, with the first stint of tires, I have wrong pressure, so my pace was done fast. With the second tires, I have had 0.3 under pressure, and then I have made some 30.6, 30.7, and this is a very good pace.
Yeah,
So
we saw you lapping that in the second stint as well. So, and taking the fastest lap of the race too, which is an extra point in the championship, and it's so close between the top 3 in the championship already. So that extra point
yes,
will mean a lot, I think, towards the end of the championship.
yes, there is a very big fight for the championship because me, Thomas, and also Simon are very close. So the next race will be very important.
Yeah, 100%. Every race is going to be important from now on, actually.
Yeah.
But you still have the drop round too, so that will I think that will mix things up slightly. But yeah, next round is going to be Donington Park. How are you feeling?
A very beautiful track. I love it, and I think that Ferrari can go fast also in Donington, and we will see. And then there are another great fight with the other driver.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, the weather is at the moment saying it is wet. Last week we had Brand Hatch in the wet. That was quite a difficult one. We saw some mistakes from you. Anything you're worried about in the wet? If it is wet at Donington for next round?
Yes, in Brands Hatch I have made a little bit mistake with wet track. So, but I love it. I love wet track. So I think that in Donington with a good setup we can make a good step and fight for the win.
Yeah, hopefully. You're obviously learned from the last round. But yeah, congratulations on the win, and we will see you for next round.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Sorry, I've been talking so much, and I completely forgot that Cody is here. Just sat here listening to. So if you want to ask anything, feel free. But we'll move over. Michael Thomas here. A P3. Probably not what you wanted in the end. You did have a P2 on the cards, but we saw, well, you and Pisano have obviously talked about that contact that happened. But yeah, still finished in your qualifying position. Still good points. A podium in the end. Yeah, how was it?
Yeah, I'm not too sure what happened yet. I've only literally got the replay now because mine didn't save properly. But yeah, it was quite annoying. Because I would have liked to have at least been with Pisano and Demori throughout the race rather than like 10-20 seconds behind because of the contact. But I think if I'm thinking about it realistically, it's probably the best I could have hoped for. But like I say, I would have liked the opportunity anyway to be higher up. Closer. But yeah, I need to watch the replay and say really. So I'm not going to pass judgment. I did think at the time it was very silly, but we shall see.
Yeah, I mean, it did look odd. We did get a replay up on the stream. It did look very odd, what happened. But obviously, Pisano was a bit too late on the brakes, I think. But yeah, that will be down towards the stewards to decide.
Yeah, I seen him coming. I gave him space because I was aware that he was slightly faster at that moment. So I was thinking, yeah, play it safe and allow him through at the last corner, and he still managed to stay off. So
yeah, but I mean, it's still a good result considering the Ferraris are one of the quickest cars at Valencia,
sure.
And with the Porsche as well. I mean, I believe it's Orange who was ahead of you, I think. And
yeah,
he got he ran out of fuel towards the end, he had to pit. So that gifted you another position. So.
It was a good race chasing down Orange actually because he did pit quite early as I was catching him with tyres advantage, and then he regained that gap and it was just kind of focused on chasing him down. And then again, I'm a bit annoyed that I didn't get to fight him and he had to pit for fuel. But you know, sometimes you have these kind of races. It is what it is.
Yeah, and next round Donington Park. I've said this to the others. It's probably going to be wet, typical British weather.
Please no.
It's like weather gods. I mean, if you can pray to the weather gods now within the next 24 hours and ask them to make it dry, and that'll go in your favour. But
it's a good track regardless. So, and the Merc's pretty good there.
Yeah, it is a pretty good car at Donington. The Ferraris, Demori and Pisano feeling confident going into next round as well. So. I mean, like I said to Pisano, the championship between you three is extremely close, and every point is going to count in this championship.
Yep, I just have to see how it goes. I'll be probably down to the last round and see how the drop round goes as well.
Yeah, that's gonna mix things about, I think. But yeah, congrats on the podium. Good recovery drive from you, and we will see you for the next round.
Cheers. See you later.
See ya. There we have it, ladies and gents. That's pretty much it for this broadcast. We'll be live once again tomorrow for the IMB Raceway Championship, where we are at. Where are we at? We're at Bathurst. Oh, and Panorama. Well, that's going to be quite an interesting race, I think. I know a few drivers there are actually flying to Imola for the... I believe it's the F1. We do have Imola this week, don't we?
Yeah, it's F1 if it goes through, because there's a red flag for the weather there, so it might not even go through.
Oh wow! Oh, that's gonna be a huge shame for the people attending, but hopefully it does. But yeah, I know a few drivers from that championship are going to be over there, Imola. Maybe they can rep SimZone. I don't know. But yeah, that's it for us tonight, and we will see you tomorrow.